My product doesn't exist yet and I have 0 customers. Let me show you my distribution plan. If you haven't seen my previous videos, my name is Sarah. I'm a solo engineer building a portable air quality monitor from scratch, from design to sales. In the previous videos, I talked about the idea and went a bit into the engineering side. I've shown you which component I chose and why. This is not my first attempt at selling a product, so I know very well that I should not underestimate the distribution. I started from engineering because I wanted to get a prototype as soon as possible. And speaking of prototype, stay until the end to know the price reveal and see if someone guessed it. So this is gonna be B2C product, so business to consumer, and it's good to try to identify which type of person would be interested in buying this air quality monitor. To do that, I sat down and went through this exercise of finding an ideal customer profile. The goal is to get a description as specific as possible of a person who would be interested in buying this and would benefit the most from it. So to start with, I found this template online where they suggest describing demographics, behavior, pain point, and success. Ideally, you would talk to real people, like you would interview people and ask them about these things, but I couldn't really do that, so I did the next best thing I could, which is researching online, especially on Reddit and other forums. That's how I arrived to these 3 profiles. The first one is Leila, a person who's suffering from asthma or allergies. She's between 26 and 38, lives in a city, is someone who's already checking pollen apps and air quality forecasts before planning outdoor activities. But her pain point is that these apps and maps are too generic. And the important thing here is also to identify what is the success outcome that they could achieve with your product. So here, ideally, Leila would be able to identify her personal triggers, have like data correlating with her symptoms that will help her plan better. And I also found some interesting threads that I linked here where people are already talking about using air quality monitor for managing their symptoms. The second profile is James, who is a worried parent. So it's someone with kids and is worried maybe their kids have asthma or some other sensitivity. So it's someone who is checking online for information and maybe already has an air purifier at home. And the success outcome for James would be to get some peace of mind, get some data that shows if he needs to do some changes in their home environment or if everything is already good enough. And last but not least, we have Mark, who is quantified self enthusiast. This quantified self is some sort of movement where people like to track everything about themselves. So Mark already has a watch or something to track his sleep, his heart rate variability, and is someone who spends a lot of time online, like researching gadgets and new tech. His pain point, he's curious about how his indoor air quality is affecting sleep and focus. So he would definitely benefit from getting a portable tracker that adds more data to the picture that he already has. I almost forgot that I haven't yet revealed the most important thing, which is the product name. Those of you with an eye for detail might have already spotted it in a previous video. I wanted something fun, memorable, and somehow connected to the air quality domain. And I came up with particle. So particle, but with a Y instead of an I. You know, like lift. Okay, so with the information about the ICP, I went ahead and built the landing page using Claude Code. This is the result after a few iterations. Here is the landing page, and this is the headline. And I don't remember where I read this, but you only have 3 seconds to capture the reader's attention, so the headline is very important. I'm not really great at copywriting, but I found this nice website called marketingexamples.com, and here there are a few articles about how to make a landing page that converts. With inspiration from this, I did another little exercise, which is look at famous successful ad campaigns and try to see if I could find something that fits my specific product. Here you can see the famous iPod ad with like 1000 songs in your pocket. Your air quality monitor in your pocket is too much, I feel like. This one was interesting from American Express. Don't leave home without it. Could work, but I don't really have a brand name, so people would still be confused if they read this headline. Similar case with this one, Visa everywhere you want to be. But this one sort of inspired me. So I tried see what you're breathing everywhere you want to be. And then I simplified it to see what you breathe everywhere you go. And I think this gives you a good idea of what the product can do in 3 seconds at least. Knowing who your customer is, also helps you figure out how to position your product. For example, take baking soda. You can sell it to someone who wants to bake cookies, but you can also sell it to someone who's looking for a carpet cleaner. So it's exactly the same thing, but it's packaged very differently for the two different use cases. So in this section of the website, my engineering brain would probably write about the sensor specs and how accurate they are, but people don't really care about that. So yeah, in this section I try to list out realistic, practical use cases. Like, if you get a foggy brain in the afternoon, it might be due to CO2. Do you have a baby? Have you been wondering about the nursery's air quality? Maybe you have allergies, asthma, and sensitivities. So yeah, this section is basically trying to talk to the ICPs. I also had fun building these interactive tools, for example, this CO2 buildup calculator. And I also made this tool about how cooking affects PM, particulate matter, concentration indoors. And then I put a map on the page to show at a glance air quality around the world, and this is based again on PM 2.5. And if you want to, you can open this to get more granular data. Back to the landing page, the map is also important in the story I'm trying to tell in this section, because there are plenty of maps and apps that you can check for air quality, but what I want to highlight is that the maps don't show you the air quality indoors, and we do spend the majority of our time indoors. And then we have the product preview. In this section I put the basic 3D model of the envelope, like to show an idea of the form factor that it's gonna have, but it's of course to be refined. And then this small section to highlight that people can find more information about how this product is being designed by me. It's important to build trust, especially since now I still don't have a product. And here at the end of the page we have the email capture. Building an email list is very important for when I will launch the product. I also added the possibility to reserve one of the first 100 units. So this is going to be a special edition, and I'm asking for a deposit of $10, fully refundable until the day I ship. And the reason for it is to try to validate my product. Like, if people take out their card and pay for it, then that's a pretty strong signal. I'm not really sure how to make this first edition special. Maybe some serial number engraving or having a special color, I don't know. But let me know if you have some ideas. And lastly, the FAQ. And it's a way for me to address preemptively what people could argue. And then some other things that maybe people are wondering, like when will the product ship? The landing page is the foundation of the marketing strategy. This is where I'm gonna redirect people and traffic. And it's good to have it live as soon as possible for search engine optimization, which takes months to kick in, like for Google to index your pages and start showing them in search results. But beyond the website and SEO, what is the rest of the distribution plan? Well, building in public here on YouTube is part of the distribution plan. These videos are the main way people are finding out about this project right now. But that's, of course, it's not enough. So I also plan to be more active on other social media, like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, make more content and start posting stuff. Once the prototype is validated, I wanna do a Kickstarter campaign. That's gonna be the real test. If the project gets funded, then that's a go ahead. And if not, that's still a good outcome. Then I know that I tried and that people are not really interested. I'm ready to accept failure and move on, or maybe pivot to something else. Okay, now to the status updates. What happened since the last video? The first iteration of the circuit board design is done, and I've placed the order for the first 5 prototypes. These prototypes are gonna arrive partially assembled, as not all the components that I need are easily available to the Chinese manufacturer. So I also placed the DG key order with the missing stuff, which is sensors and connectors. This also means that I will have to solder manually, and I suck at soldering. The batteries arrived. For once I got free samples, which is very much appreciated. In the last video I asked you to guess in the comments how much the circuit board would cost when ordering 5 prototypes. And here I found 5 comments. Someone here guessed $50, someone said $5 a piece, someone thought $75. We also have a guess of $1, and I'm like, I wish. And someone guessed 342 plus 250, which is 592. So here's the answer. These 5 PCBs, so circuit board plus components assembled, will cost me a total of $511. And that doesn't include shipping costs. I realize maybe some people did not understand what I meant. Maybe they thought only the PCB without the component, and that's actually costs $5 per unit. So yeah, they will cost more than $100 per piece. And that's quite a high cost, considering that I haven't included the battery price there, and I haven't included the casing price, the glass cover for the sensor. So it's pretty steep, but again, consider I ordered only 5. My aim is to get under $70 per unit when scaling this up a bit. Let's see if I can make it happen. And with the PCB order also comes my first failing public moment. I totally underestimated the lead time. I assumed it would take something like 2 weeks to get the prototypes, but when I uploaded my files, I got as feedback 30 to 35 days. And that's mostly due to the extra time required to source all the components. So then I ended up deciding to order long lead time components myself and assemble them myself. So yeah, the boards now are gonna arrive right at the time when I will be traveling, which is not great. I will have to carry with me the sensors, and I will have to get the boards shipped to a different address. And I also need to find somewhere where they have the equipment to solder and bring up the boards. So it's not a complete disaster, but it's really annoying. Another thing I underestimated is how long it takes to make videos. I was naive in the beginning and I was hoping I would be able to release 1 video per week, but that's not possible if I have a full-time job and I'm also supposed, to work on this project, not just film and edit the video. At least I'm gonna have my vacation soon, so I will have more time to work on content. These past days I've been working on the mechanical design. Once you get the PCB, you can export the 3D model and try to design the casing around it. I'm also learning to use freeCAD. I had tried before SolidWorks and Tinkercad, but I didn't want to pay for licenses. And also it was a few years since I designed something in CAD. So here is a rough draft of the envelope in freeCAD with the PCB and the battery inside. It's nowhere near complete. I still need to figure out the sensor vents and the button connection and how to show the LEDs, how to clip things together. But yeah, this is a rough idea of the form factor. I'm excited to do some prototyping with 3D prints and see how the product will look and feel. So that's where things are. The website is live, the marketing plan is in motion, the PCBs are being manufactured, fingers crossed that they work first try. If you want to check the website, go to particle.cloud. The link is going to be also in the description. If you want to be one of the first 100 people to receive one, feel free to go ahead and pre-order it. I'm Sarah, this is BusyWait, see you in the loop.